Okay, this next one is something that is probably the most scary thing for my students to do, but I insist that everyone do it at least once. It's a very valuable skill to have if you get good at it, but that's not what this experiment is about. It's not about getting good at it right away. What it's about is generating ideas and finding a process that works for you when you're first getting started. I call this just free writing. And what I ask students to do is get some staff paper, get a pencil, and go away. Go somewhere comfortable. Go sit in a park. Go sit in a coffee shop. Noisier the better. Go somewhere where you have no business being writing music. The goal here is to get somewhere comfortable that is away from any instruments. You're going to rely purely on your imagination here. So you cannot bring any instruments, just a pencil and a paper. I really like coffee shops for this. There are certain coffee shops that I have in Minneapolis here where I live that I do this all the time. There are ones that I find I'm more productive at than others. It's kind of weird. But anywhere that you can sit for a good couple hours and work is great. Parks are good. I used to go to the beach and do it when I lived by a significant body of water. On a nice day, anything can be great. I used to go to the airport and do this when I lived in a different major city. I would do this for like a good 10-hour stretch, and I needed a place where I could be for 24 hours, like in the middle of the night. That was safe, and the airport was kind of the safest place to be. So I would take the train out to the airport. I would sit at the baggage claim, and I would just write for all night long. Anyway, find somewhere comfortable to you that you can sit for a long period of time. I don't recommend bars. Bars are less good. They tend to be not filled with creative people. It's more people socializing and having fun, which is good, but you want a creative atmosphere. Also in bars, if you sit for a long period of time at a bar, you're kind of being rude to the host, the person running the waiter or the waitress or whatever, because they're not going to make a lot of money off you. So it's not great. Also, I find that just when I drink, I get less focus. It's harder for me to focus, so it's not good. Stay away from bars for this. You can go to bars when you're having fun with your friends. Don't go there alone just to write music. Although I've done it, and it's had some interesting results. But okay, so we're gonna go to this place. We're gonna sit down and we're gonna write. Just start writing. Don't think too hard. Just start putting dots on the staff. Imagine what you want to hear, and then start writing it. Now, what you're going to say to yourself, and what you're probably saying to yourself right now is, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to look at music and just hear it in my head. That's okay. You don't need to. Don't worry about it. Just follow your gut. Just start writing. See what happens. Write down how you think something goes. If you can imagine a sound, just start writing it down. Take a guess. If you're right, then cool. You wrote something cool. If you're not right, you probably wrote something interesting anyway. That's the joy of doing this. You can. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna spend a couple hours doing that. Then you're gonna come back to your instrument or your computer or whatever you do, and you're going to put that music into a notation program like Finale or Sibelius or MuseScore, and then, or you're gonna just sit at a piano and play it if that's what you do, and you're gonna listen to what you wrote. It's not gonna be what you expected that you wrote. It's not gonna be what you thought you were writing, unless you're really good at hearing stuff in your head from music. And if you do this long enough, you will get good at it. By the way, that's kind of a side effect of doing this. So if you just keep doing it, you'll start to have more and more confidence in what you're writing. But even if it doesn't sound anything like what you thought it was going to sound like, will sound like something, and it might sound interesting. Probably a good half of it will be interesting stuff that you might not have otherwise came up with. So we're going to take that music and then we're going to start playing with it and working on it and turning it into something that we really like using while we're at an instrument. So we're going to do this initial session of just like sitting away from our instrument and just free writing. And then we're going to bring it back and we're going to see what we got. And then we're going to start crafting it and working with it as a piece. It's going to be our starting point for a piece. This is great for just your general musical abilities. The more you do this, the better you'll get at it. The more you'll look forward to doing it. And the more music you'll write. I mean, you write a lot of music while you're doing this. So I could not recommend doing this more. Just please try it at least once. Just get some staff paper, go somewhere comfortable, ideally somewhere where there are other people around making music, doing interesting stuff, and see what and see what you come up with. You'll shock yourself, trust me. Use that music as a starting point for a piece of music. Okay, that being said, let's move on to another kind of process-related thing. This one, a much more much more literal, but a way of generating a lot of ideas quite fast. So something I like to do a lot as an experiment to get me started. Off we go.